You know what? The ocean is actually in the sky, and the sky is actually below. The reason you've been seeing it wrong for so many years is that your eyes have been deceiving you all along. Your retina is installed backward, and light reaches the back of your eye first, so the world should inherently be upside down. The blue sky you see is nothing but an illusion your brain forcefully corrects. What we think is real has never been the world as it truly is. Our entire lives, we live inside a truth fabricated by our own brains. If you were to take an eye apart, you'd find it's an engineering nightmare. In the history of biological evolution, the human eye may be called a precision camera, but it made a ridiculously basic design mistake. This mistake means every one of us is born with a visual patch. And you had no idea. Let's first look at this so-called design flaw. If you compare the eye to a camera, the retina is the film. But in vertebrates, including humans, that film is glued on backward. By normal logic, light-sensitive cells should face the light, right? Like in octopuses and squids. But human light-sensitive cells face away from the light, they point toward the back of your skull. That means when light enters your eye, it has to travel through thick nerve fibers and dense blood vessels before it reaches the light-sensitive cells at the bottom. Doesn't that sound absurd? To compensate for this ridiculous design flaw, the brain had to develop an ultra-sophisticated visual processing algorithm. And it even relies on the eyeball's own movements to help. When you look at something, your eyeball is constantly making tiny, imperceptible shifts. Precisely to avoid the blockage from blood vessels and let light reach the sensitive area. Then the brain takes those blocked, incomplete images and automatically fills them in to create a seamless, sharp picture. But it gets even more absurd. Because the retina is installed backward, all the nerve fibers have to bundle together, pierce through the retina, and connect to the brain. This leaves a hole in the back of your eye. With zero light-sensitive cells, that's your blind spot. Logically, your field of vision should have two permanent black holes. But do you see them now? No, because your brain is a master photo editor. It looks at the textures and colors around the blind spot, and automatically fills in the content, seamlessly patching that black hole. The perfect world you see is largely a virtual image your brain made up, not a 100% real projection. And have you noticed that your vision shouldn't even be continuous? Humans blink every 3 to 4 seconds on average, and each blink plunges you into brief darkness. These dark fragments happen frequently while you're awake. But your brain tricks you again. It automatically ignores these dark moments, seamlessly stitching the visual stream together, making you feel the world is smooth and continuous, completely unaware that your vision is constantly fragmenting. Think your vision is high-def everywhere? Don't be fooled. In reality, only a tiny pit in the center of your retina, the fovea, has extremely high resolution. If you stretch out your arm and raise your thumb, the truly sharp part of your vision is only about the size of your thumbnail. The vast majority of the rest is low resolution. Blurry mosaic, only catching light, shadow, and motion. So why does everything seem clear? Because your eyeball is the fastest moving muscle in your body, making countless tiny jumps every second, scientifically called saccades. It's like a restless searchlight, frantically capturing details from every corner. Then the brain quickly pieces those fragmented high-res snapshots into a grand panoramic view. The clarity we see is essentially a massive jigsaw puzzle hosted by the brain. Since eyes have evolved for 500 million years, why are more and more people nearsighted today? In parts of Asia, teenage myopia rates hit 70%. This is modern life completely outpacing the pace of biological evolution. The massive outbreak of myopia has only occurred in recent decades. The core cause is chronic lack of outdoor light and excessive close-up use of the eyes. Originally, our eyes need plenty of natural light to stimulate the retina to release dopamine, which keeps the eye growing to a normal length and prevents it from elongating too much. But now we spend our childhoods indoors, staring at books, phones, and computer screens at extremely close distances, forcing the eyeball to overgrow. The once round eyeball gets stretched into an elliptical football shape, so light focuses before it reaches the retina, failing to form a clear image there. That's the truth behind myopia. The far-sighted ability we evolved over 500 million years has been rapidly drained and completely transformed in just a couple hundred years of modern life. At this point, you might think the human eye is a total mess. Compared to the mantis shrimp, which can perceive multiple spectra and has a more specialized visual system, our color range is very limited. Compared to the octopus, whose visual structure is more rational and lets it hunt precisely in pitch-black deep seas, our eyes seem like clumsy imitations that took an evolutionary wrong turn. But look at it from another angle. Isn't that exactly what makes humans great? You see, the eye was never designed to record 100% reality. It's only designed to fabricate the most reasonable visual signals for survival. Even though our sensory organs are so flawed, full of gaps, and even have the film installed backward, we still use this broken system to observe galaxies hundreds of billions of light-years away, to feel the grandeur of a sunset, and to capture that tenderness in a loved one's eyes. We spend our entire lives inside a truth fabricated by our brains. But what does that matter? Isn't the essence of science precisely to piece together the truth of the world using these flawed eyes? Look at this picture. Can you tell if it's spinning left or right? Everyone sees something different, but I'll tell you one thing, you have never in your life seen the world as it really is. No joke. You think you're seeing, but you're actually being deceived. Before you argue, let me ask you a question. When do you think your eyes start working? The moment you open them, right? Wrong. Before your eyes even finish transmitting the information, your brain has already secretly processed the image and sent it to you. Let's do an experiment. Look at this photo, it's a crater on the moon's surface. Stare at it, now flip it upside down and look again. Those hills that were bulging out suddenly collapse into pits. Same image, but flip it and the whole world changes. Scientists call this the light from above illusion, or the crater illusion. The principle is so simple it'll make you want to smack yourself. From birth, your brain assumes the world has only one light source, the sun, and it's always shining from above. 10,000 years of evolution have carved that rule into your genes. So when the brain sees bright on top and shadow below, it instantly judges, that's a bump. Flip the image, and the bright moves to the bottom, so the brain recalculates, oh, that's a hole. That's how sloppy, absolute, and non-negotiable it is. You think you're seeing the world with your eyes, but you're really just guessing it with your brain. Now, that's just the most basic type of optical illusion. Next up, something that'll mess with you even more. Have you seen that classic checkerboard illusion? There are two squares, one in the white area, one in the shadow. At a glance, one looks darker, one lighter, a clear difference. But the MIT research team measured the RGB values of both squares. They are exactly the same color. Same color, but you see two. Why? Because your brain is too smart. It's not looking at the color, it's interpreting the context. It knows shadows make things darker, so it actively compensates for the shadow's effect. It automatically brightens the squares in shadow. Sounds helpful, right? But that helpfulness makes you see a color difference that doesn't exist. What we see is never light itself, but the brain's translation of light. And that translation gets secretly edited by the brain. There's another optical illusion I find the most unsettling. The face inversion illusion, also known as the Thatcher effect. Take a photo of a face, turn it upside down, then flip just the eyes and mouth right side up while the face is still inverted. It looks okay, a bit odd but passable. Then flip the whole face right side up. At that moment, the image makes your stomach drop. The eyes and mouth are oriented wrong, and the whole face becomes grotesquely strange, like something from a disaster movie. Why? Because the human brain has a region dedicated to recognizing faces called the fusiform face area, which is extremely sensitive to the spatial relationship between eyes and mouth. We are social animals. Millions of years of evolution have forced us to determine, within a fraction of a second, whether that face is friend or foe, angry or gentle. When viewed upside down, the brain decides it's a normal face flipped upside down, and skips fine analysis. Once turned right side up, all those jumbled details emerge. 1 second the brain says it's fine, the next it's baffled. You've been fooled by your own energy-saving mode. Okay, so far all these are just you being fooled alone. But the next case involves hundreds of millions of people worldwide being fooled simultaneously, and they were fooled into two completely opposite answers, sparking fierce arguments. In February 2015, a bride-to-be's mother in Scotland casually took a photo of a dress and posted it online. That one ordinary dress photo plunged the entire social media into war within a week. Some said the dress was blue and black, others insisted it was white and gold. Then the two groups started doubting each other's eyesight. So what color is the dress? The blue camp will tell you it's blue-black, confirmed by the manufacturer. But that's not the point. The point is, why did so many people with perfectly normal vision see white and gold? The answer again, light source assumption. The photo's background is overexposed, making the lighting information extremely ambiguous. Your brain can't determine what lighting the dress was photographed under. So different brains make different assumptions. If your brain guesses it was taken in natural light has a blue tint, so the brain actively subtracts blue to restore the true color. After removing blue, what's left? White and gold. If your brain guesses it was taken under indoor lighting, which is yellowish, the brain actively subtracts yellow. After removing yellow, what's left? Blue and black. Same image, two assumptions, two worlds. Even more striking, research found that whether you are an early bird or a night owl, directly affects which colors you see. The color you perceive is actually a mirror of your lifestyle. What makes this dress truly remarkable isn't that it fooled anyone. It's the first time it so dramatically showed us that even facing the same world, what you and I see may not be the same thing at all. We always say, seeing is believing, but illusions tell us exactly the opposite. Your eyes are not cameras. What truly sees is your brain, a super editor that constantly constructs an infinite world from limited information. To keep you alive, it has invented countless cognitive shortcuts. Most of the time, these shortcuts let you quickly interpret the world, but occasionally it subtly leads you into a carefully laid sweet trap. Optical illusions are the moments when this movie seems show. But what truly chills me isn't those moving still images, nor that globally divisive dress, but a deeper question. If the brain is constantly altering the world you see, and vision itself is like that, then what about your memories, your judgments, the facts you firmly believe? Perhaps the reality we defend all our lives is merely a subjective film carefully edited by the brain using biases and experience. And you have never left the screening room.